Haven't done one of these in a while. A friend of mine, the great Dan Shaw, former bass player of the Tossers, is moving to France. And he told me I was one of his best friends in the world, which is high praise. And he asked if I wanted to buy his electric piano for pretty cheap. And I said, well, I can't pay for it right now. He goes, you're one of my best friends, so I don't care whenever you can. You know what? I need more friends like that. Not a great piano player. So what do we want to talk about? I got this bird on my shoulder. That's Mac. You know, it's a weird thing about this bird. When I first bought him, he had been in a cage at the pet store for almost exactly a year, and the pet people at the pet store were like, hey, if somebody didn't buy him soon, we're going to send him off to a sanctuary. Point being that he had gotten himself really lucky. Not really lucky. He got himself really accustomed to being in a small space, like in a small cage, which is sad, right? And unfortunately, I, as his companion human, one of a few that he has, I think I'm his second favorite behind my wife. Um, as my companion, as his companion human, I I know that he's an intelligent creature and that he requires, well, ideally he'd just be flying around everywhere all day with all his friends, but because he lives with me, he requires at least 3 hours out of the cage every day. Well, the thing is, he got really used to being in the cage, and so he doesn't really complain much at all about being in the cage. And I, being a terrible person, will sometimes let that be, I don't know, permission to let him stay in the cage longer. Some days I forget entirely to take him out of the cage, and he's just chill. He's fine. Or at least he appears to be fine. But it reminds me of my oldest daughter. She is shy, and she is very smart, and she's afraid sometimes to ask for what she wants and ask for what she needs. And because she doesn't ask for what she wants and doesn't ask for what she needs, sometimes I, as her new, stepfather slash dad, um, I kind of, well, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So I think maybe I can take this as as a sign that this is what came to mind tonight. That well, sometimes you gotta stop listening to the squeaky wheel for a second and see what the other wheels need before they become squeaky, or before they just fall off without ever squeaking once. We don't want that, right? So Max on my shoulder tonight because I realized he hadn't had much time, any time out of the cage today. And one thing he loves is when I play piano. Don't you, buddy? He likes it higher up. Right? Don't you, buddy? One of the neat things about this piano that Dan gave me, I mean, it's old, right? But it's got 4 sounds, which I guess was probably a big deal when it was first built, but they sound great. It's not like one of these sample keyboards where um, it has a lot of sounds, but the whole keyboard doesn't sound great. Like it's just kind of tinny and thin sounding. This is like real stuff. Mac, do you like this? You like that, Muddy? Mac-a-doodle-doo is on my shoulder. Mac-a-doodle-doo is on my shoulder. You like that one, buddy? You gonna sing with me? Other thing you have to remember is that not everybody needs the same thing you do. And he just wants to chill. He doesn't want to perform. He probably doesn't even want to do this webcast. Webcast. I'm 53. This web series, this video. He doesn't want to do this video, but he doesn't care. He sees that other little bird in there. I keep thinking it's time for a haircut, but I don't know. I think I like getting old and my hair getting long. I feel like somebody that you would find living in the mountains, drinking from a stream, you know? Not that I can do that right now. I live in Chicago. But anyways, so recap. The squeaky wheel don't have to get the grease. In fact, always focus on the squeaky wheel might cause everyone else all the other wheels to fall off, right? It's that thing in the Bible about the good shepherd that leaves its flock of 99 because the one wandered off to bring it back into the fold. Sometimes what do we gotta do, Mac? We gotta pay a little extra attention to the guy that's quiet in his cage, make sure he's good, because you're not gonna tell me if you're good, are you? You're just gonna pretend everything's fine, because that's what birds do, right? And sometimes that's what 13-year-old little girls do too. So, be good, people. Words and music, Chris Churchill.